Hey guys, Henry from CGC here. Last time we talked about leaders, and like the first video I made on this channel for the blue, in that video I went ahead and reviewed cards that were good with the colors, with the leaders and all that, but the issue was that video was, as you know, 43 minutes, and a lot of people said that was too long, which I agree. So we're gonna break it down in videos, and in this one I will do the cards that work well with leaders, cards that synergize together, and just, cards that are pretty good, cards you want within that color that you're playing. So today we're gonna go ahead and get into yellow. Now, some of these leaders just, they don't really synergize a lot with a lot of things just because of what they do. Like, I say for this Frieza, all he does is just activate two guys at the end of your turn. There's not a lot of synergizing there, but there is still some plays you can do with him. But the first one I'm gonna go into, which is the easiest one to go into, a lot of people build, is Ginyu. Now, of course, within the Ginyu package, you have Goldo, Raccoon, Birder, Jice, and of course, Captain Ginyu himself. Now, what this deck, or what this little combo here does is, if you hit this guy when he's in his first form, a lot of the times, then you're gonna swarm your opponent's boards pretty fast. He's a really good best of one format card in my opinion. I don't like him in a best of three because people just side in hate cards against Ginyu Force, and if they keep your board down, then it kind of just, it's hard for you to push for that damage at the end, what Ginyu wants to do. So, but in a best of one format where you just want to take your opponent by surprise, well, it's not really surprise because they see your leader first, but if you can just hit the cards off the top of your life, then you really just swarm the board. And if you forgot what his skill does is, flip a one face down card from your life. It is a Ginyu Force card other than Ginyu. Play that card. If not, add it to your hand. So you have access to 4 of each. So 4 Goldo, 4 Raccoon, 4 Birder, 4 Jice. So that's 16 targets that you have to hit. Pretty good chance that you will have at least about like half your life being a Ginyu card. Well, of course, sometimes it doesn't happen. Sometimes Ginyu's in there himself, but it's not so bad because if it's not a Ginyu Force card, then it goes to your hand. So not so bad. At least you get a card in your hand and it sets yourself to awaken faster. So these guys all have their own respective abilities. 2 of them are blockers, which are Goldo and Jace. I like these 2 a lot. Goldo is when he enters the field, choose a battle card, cost 2 or less, and put it into rest mode, which is, I mean, it's pretty nice because they play their 1-drop Bomas or their 1-drop blockers and all that. And if you call him from your life with Ginyu, then you rest one of their blockers or 1-drops, which mitigates 1 blocker or 1 combo on their field right off the bat. So it lets you push for that damage if need to. Or you just want to keep the board on your side and keep your board state bigger than theirs. Rest their guys and kill off their guys. So he's very nice. Only issue is that a lot of the 1-drops are 5Ks and he's only a 2K, so he himself can't contest with those 5 drops, but he sets it up pretty nicely. So I like him. Jace also helps you with the swarming aspect in terms of the Ginyu package. When you play this card from your hand, only from hand, so remember that. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Choose 1 Ginyu Force card other than Ginyu and put them onto play. So if you hit any of these other guys here, even himself, any of these 4 cards from the top 3 cards of your deck, then you just drop them on the field, which is really nice. So if you hit like a Birder, Raccoon, another Goldo, Goldo can come in and rest another 1-drop of theirs or 2-drop of theirs. Really nice. He's also a blocker as well. So this deck has access to, instead of your standard, people play 4 of the 1-cost blockers. In this deck, you have up to 8 blockers, which is nice if you play the Ginyu Force package, of course, which I think is the way to go right now within the yellow cards. There's just not a lot to play, and it's very easy to build a deck around yellow when you have 16 cards already for you in the Ginyu Force package, and then of course Ginyu himself, you play about 3 or 4 of them, so that's already like 19 to 20 cards right there for your deck, which is really good. These 2 are pretty simple. Raccoon is probably the least impactful in my opinion. His ability is permanent. This card gains 6,000 power during your opponent's turn, so that means you can go wide, attack very aggressively, and then he becomes a 16k during your opponent's turn, which is an awkward number to hit because 15k, they'll have to combo one 5k at least just to get through, just to kill him. And a lot of people think that a lot of people will discern that it's not worth for them to throw an extra 5k just to kill this 10k attacker. So it's really nice because a lot of them just ignore him and leave him on the field, which could potentially just ruin them if they let you keep a bunch of Ginyu Force cards because of what Ginyu does. But I'll get into what Ginyu does in a second. Now, Birder is probably my favorite of the package because at the end of the turn, switches card to active mode, which is really nice. So you can call him from your life with him or from the top with him, attack, and then not feel bad about being too aggressive because at the end of the turn he just switches back up. So he saves himself from being KO'd for one, and he also lets you attack while still giving you a combo on your defensive step. So it lets you be aggressive, but at the same time give you the tools to be defensively as well. So this card is very nice. I like Birder a lot. And then of course the leader himself, Captain Ginyu. Now this card is insane if, like I said, they ignored your guys, like they ignored Raccoons and all that, and you just leave like your blockers up. And then Birder is really hard to KO because he activates himself back up. So if you can swarm your board with a lot of Ginyu cards, what Ginyu does is when you play this card, choose all of your Ginyu Force battle cards. Those cards gain 10,000 power and double strike to the end of the turn. Now notice that it doesn't say other Ginyu Force cards, which means he himself has a Ginyu Force trait right there, will also gain the 10k double strike. So he becomes a 35k double striker by himself, which is insane. And then everything here just becomes a 20k double strike, 20k double strike, 20k double strike, and then a 12k. He's the least, he's the least one that gets through. But hey, you just need a combo with another 5k, and then that's 17k right there. So either way, at least 3 of them will be pushing for those numbers and getting in, and he himself. So that's just 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 potential damage with just having one of each out on the field. So if you can swarm out, like get 2 of each, 5, 6 of them on the field, that's just an insane OTK turn right there. A 1 turn kill turn. So if people just ignore your Ginyu Force kind of things, and it can really punish them if you get this early. So the weakness of this is that in yellow, you don't have a lot of ways to get to 6 fast. So you have to wait till 6 turns to get there, and he, as a non-evolved card, also means you have to wait for the full 6 turns to get there. So there is that if your opponent is playing more aggressively than you and forces you to play more on the defensive side and forces you to use up your Ginyu Force guys just to stay alive, then that's kind of an issue right there. Or if you play against a Vados deck, which can attack active battle cards, they just target your Ginyu Force cards like all the time. So when you drop Ginyu, only he himself is a 35 double striker. So he doesn't gain his maximum value of buffing anything else. So Vados is a pretty scary card to go against. Also Beerus, this Beerus here, he's also very scary for the Ginyu Force package because you're playing blue, you can ramp really fast. So his auto effect here will be active pretty quickly, which is if you have 3 or more energy, choose one of your opponent's battle cards that energy costs 2 or less and KO them. Now let's look at the Ginyu Force package. 3 out of 4 of them, 3 out of 5 Ginyu cards are 2 drops and less. So if your opponent plays an objection turn 2, that means he's already setting up at turn 2 to KO any of these guys. So the turn 1 you drop Goldo, he's gone. Turn 2 you drop Birder, he's gonna die next turn. So all these guys are gonna die pretty easily. And for him to trigger just on attack, so he can still just attack your leader and KO your other guy, which is really nuts. And then when he awakens, it gets worse, because now he KOs 3 drops or less. Now that hits Jace as well. So that's 4 out of 5 of your Ginyu Force package that are just dead on him attacking. So your disadvantaged matchups are against Beerus God Destruction, and of course this Vados here, in case you guys don't know which one I'm talking about. It's just the regular Vados, the uncommon, and then flips to 8 Vados. So these 2 here are kind of like your enemies in the Ginyu Force deck. Against Vados is kind of not so bad because she has to waste her attack on your battle card. So she's not as bad as Beerus, because Beerus can just keep attacking your leader and then using his auto effect to kill off your guys, which is really, really annoying. We've played this a few times, and my friend has this Beerus, and it's just really, really tough to get through. But the deck can work. It is very strong, actually. It can win like turn 5 and 6 if you get the curve on correctly, and it's just really nice. And there's cards within this deck that make it more consistent, which is an extra card called Frieza's Call. Now, what it does is activate on your main, so you can't do it during a battle, only during your main, not your opponent's main. Choose one Frieza army card, cost 2 or less from your deck, and play it in rest mode. So it filters your deck for 1, and it lets you kind of see what you have left in your deck for 2. So it gives you more information on what you have and then what could be in your life. And then it searches for 3 out of the 5 cards, because not only is every Ginyu Force card a Ginyu Force, but they also are a Frieza Army card. So this card searches for Birder, Recoome, or Goldo. Now the ones you want to search for most of the time are these two. It's usually never Recoome unless he's like your only target left. Birder because, of course, even if it comes in rest mode, at the end of your turn, switch to active mode. So that's not so bad. And then for Goldo, of course, you can rest one of their blockers and stuff. So at late game, if you want to just, try to push for damage, use a cheap Frieza's Call, get out a Goldo, put down their blockers, play a Ginyu, go in for game. And that's really nice. So just filtering out throughout your deck and giving you better draws, giving you the stuff you want to see a lot faster, and just developing your board within this deck. And then other extra cards that I like for this deck is Crushable. What it does is counter play. So when they play one of their battle cards, choose one. The battle card played is played in rest mode. So if they play something that's very problematic coming down the field, like let's say you're playing against an enemy yellow deck and he's playing a full power Frieza, which is essentially kind of like an infinite blocker, because every time he uses his block skill, it goes back to active mode. So it can block a guy, after block, goes back up. So with this, it will put him in rest mode right away. So since it got to rest mode without using the blocker skill, it won't reactivate. So against problematic cards that kind of just go for game or kind of stall you for a bit, this just lets you punish them for it. And it's only at 1 cost, which is really insane. I think this is probably one of the best, if not the best, for the yellow extra cards, just because it's so cheap and it does so much for you. It puts them down defensively because they can't combo with the rest card. It puts you offensively because now they can't use their blocker or anything else on the field to combo. And it's just, it's really nice for 1. So I like it a lot. And then other cards like, and the other one I would play in this deck is Cold Bloodlust. I don't know if I would play a 4 of. I personally play a 4 of the Crushable and 4 of the Frieza's Call. Those are very essential in the deck. And then I play about, in my version, I play about 2 of this. It's very nice because it's against cards like this guy, which is very huge in the game right now. Or like, not very huge, but he's a really, really strong card. Very big threat on the field. He's a triple strike, and when he enters, when he attacks, you either discard 2 cards, and if you can't, you lose your whole board, including your energy. So you use Cold Bloodlust, which is, if your leader is a Frieza Army card, which is every leader so far currently with the 2 Friezas and Ginyu, Frieza Army, the battle card has a skill negated to the end of turn. Now that means not only the auto skill, but also the built-in skill, the trait that it has, which is triple strike. So every card pretty much just becomes a vanilla. You ignore all text and it's a 25k 7 drop. That's about it. That's all it becomes now. So against problematic cards, it just makes it, just a nothing, a vanilla. So they still have their big powers, but at least they're not pushing in for that triple strike or doing some crazy ability that they wanted to do. Or you're against Prince of Speed, that when it enters the field, draw 2 cards. You're not going to let them refill their hand if their hand is low. So this kind of punishes your opponent and just really makes them regret that play that they made pretty much. Like some blue decks, when they enter the field, they can activate 2 of their energies, stuff like that. So you just mitigate that, and they just felt like, oh wait, I just overextended because I felt like I was gonna activate 2 of my energies, but now I just can't anymore. This has happened to me actually a few times, because I would play a Prince of Speed, try to refill my hand for more combos and stuff, and they just cold bloodlust me, and I just sat there like, what do I do now? I have no cards in hand. He just denied me my play, and now I can't swing, because if I swing, that means I'm leaving myself to be even more wide open. So I like the card, but because you just don't want to overwhelm your deck with too many extra cards. That means there's less combos in your hand and less tricks you have. I wouldn't play too many of this. I just value Crusher Ball over Cold Bloodlust more because this lets you do way more plays. So that's pretty much for the Ginyu Force package. Within this deck, I would also, like any other yellow deck, I would play the staple Dodoria. Every color has a card like this where it's 0 cost. If you combo with this card, your leader is yellow, your life is 4 or less, draw 1 card and it gains 10,000 power. Now remember, read the text. It says add 10,000 to this card's combo. That means for that battle that you're comboing with, only this card gains the 10k. Don't mistake it and give 10k to the card you're comboing with for the whole turn. That's not what it is. That's giving 10k to this card. That's why it's 0. It makes you meet the requirement of 4 or less life first before you get the 10k. So if you combo before you're at 4 life, essentially it gives 0. That's why they worded it like that. But every color has a card like this where it's 0 cost, 10k, draw a card, which is very nice, you know. With the Ginyu Force deck, he can set you to awaken faster, so he will set you to that 4 life a lot faster. So gives you good combos, more free 10k for pushing for damage with Ginyu and all that, and refilling your hand by drawing a card. So it replaces itself instantly as soon as you play it, which is very, very nice. I like it a lot. Every deck should run 4 of any card that does this effect. So for yellow is Dodoria, for blue it is Boost Piccolo, and then so on and so forth. Every color has a card that does this, and I recommend a 4 of in every deck. But that pretty much sums up the Ginyu Force package right there, what I would run, and the strengths of it, and then kind of like the weaknesses that I went over against certain leaders and stuff like that. But I like the deck. I personally have this deck built. It's very fast. It's very aggro. I love it a lot. It does cry to certain things, but there's times where you just overwhelm your opponent so fast and you just win games in turns like 4 to 6, and it's insane. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's for the Ginyu. The next time I'll go into Frieza. Thanks for watching.